The name Delegate Saad is quite famous, isn't he? Then he says, following extremely difficult. Meeting with my accountant, I have just how much it will cost me in the form of an exit tax to leave Quebec and Canada. No human being in a free society should have their hard-earned mate stolen from them in this manner. I am genuinely stunned. I am left without words. Then somebody wrote to him here, so the following, okay? This type of tax is like a legalized territorial mafia. And while you live, work, invest, take risks, win, lose, explode in a certain territory while all this is happening, the state takes its share, and share. When you decide to leave, you discover that the government also claims a portion of the wealth accumulated before letting you go. It wants to collect on your excess that it has already collected. The logic is less reminiscent of a citizen-government relationship and more like a feudal lord collecting a toll on the regions. Only bridge. You're informed that you're free to leave, but only after settling accounts with whoever controls that territory. There are no chains, no guards preventing your passage. However, there's a clear message: if you leave, you'll be shot in the back. Don't kill in the back. The more you prosper, the more expensive it will be to exercise your freedom. The state ceases to be a service provider, funded by citizens, and begins to act as the owner of the territory, the owner of a part of your life, and the owner of your property, and those who live under its jurisdiction. This is modern slavery created by petty and mediocre people, okay? Yeah. Understand one thing here, okay? About this tweet. Understand one thing. What we're seeing is a global movement. We're living in an era where the state has grown to such an extent that it wants to do what we just described. They want to take over every aspect of your life. They want to control everything. They want to own what is yours. And the argument in Canada for those in favor of this is as follows. Wow, but this person prospered here in Canada. What they earned in Canada. The Canadian environment provided them with the opportunity to earn that. Now they want to leave and take it all out of Canada. They don't really have to take a piece of it so that people don't have any motivation to leave. If they stayed here, succeeded in life here, they have to leave their assets here. Can you imagine anything more totalitarian than that? What's the difference compared to East Germany with the Berlin Wall? The backstabbing will happen the same way. You can leave, but you'll have to leave a substantial portion of your assets to leave. What's the difference with the Berlin Wall? Only the issue of assets of payment, because if you pay, you can't leave. And they do the following too. They do this. You have a house. You only have one house. You pay all your taxes to have your house. Your house is worth $1 million, for example. So you think you own a house, and then you decide to leave because the left is destroying the country and turning into a shitty environment in Canada. You decide to leave. Then they do a simple calculation like this. When you bought this house, I bought the house in '98, but you bought it for $100,000, and now it's worth $1 million. I'm going to calculate how much profit there was in that period, and they charge the exit taxes on that and accumulated wealth value. Yesterday, while sending this topic, I thought to my wait a minute. Let's open the Canadian legislation here. Let me understand this. If the guy sells everything and leaves with no assets, then it said no, they'll charge the tax when the guy sells. They will materialize the tax when the guy goes to sell. They're going to charge the success tax on that transaction there. I'm interested in these topics because these idiotic ideas are going to reach here, especially now that Brazilians are going to Paraguay. None of it. So wait, it will arrive here. So you can avoid the bleeding idea. It will arrive here. Then come here. And if the guy does the following, he sells his assets. No, he hands them over as if it were debt. Everything in his life becomes debt. Okay, he owes a lot. Then it doesn't matter. The law will investigate his life. Okay, to determine how much profit he made in order to get him out of there. Even if you're bankrupt in the end, they'll want to investigate anyway. Then you can't get out because you have a bill you can't pay. You know what this reminds you of? Crueler slaves, which is what England did in the 16th and 19th centuries in the Opium War in India and Asia, here in the Caribbean, where these guys went to work for the state, but they had to pay for food, they had to pay for housing, they had to pay for a lot of things, and their debt was greater than what they received, and they couldn't get out of that situation. The same, okay. So we're living through a new kind of slavery, really, a new slavery created by mediocre people, miserable people with piggish spirits, okay? It's tough, it's difficult. That's why there are some countries in the world that sometimes even surprise us, where people abandon their property and leave. They leave. The car's abandoned at the airport, the house is abandoned, they leave. Man, that's disgusting. That's disgusting. That's the destruction of prosperity. Destruction. Look, the smarter countries are doing the opposite. They give people freedom, and that will really attract everyone. And these stupid countries with the stupid people, what do? They keep increasing the rules to prevent people from leaving. Man, look at this. People don't leave Cuba because there's an ocean around it. And now they can't leave Quebec because there's an ocean around what? Regulations and fines for anyone who wants to leave. Man, it's disgusting. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. He said, dude, I sold this. Do that. The other person said, sell everything in Bitcoin. It's traceable. I asked there. It's traceable. Then the guy escapes financial crime. Then Canada can request extradition. If they know where the guy went, right, they can request extradition. It's disgusting, man. This era we're living in will pass. This era of republics, it's over. It's over. There's already discussion in Europe about the return of monarchy, a new system, a copy of the Swiss model. There are already a lot of discussions about this happening in Europe all over the world because people are looking at this model of representative democracy where you choose a representative. He goes there, vote, creates the law for you, and people are seeing that it's all a farce. What they create are these rules that we just saw, which destroy the possibility of family prosperity, destroy everything. Well, he's gradually salting the land, salting it until it becomes unbearable. Look, the people of Alberta in Canada are already wanting to hold a referendum to disconnect from Canada and connect to the United States as an American state. As first they want to become independent, and the Canadian Constitution allows it. Alberta is an oil producer. The rest of Canada is the producer, pollution, taxes. So the state is the most attacked in Canada, Alberta. The most attacked with the highest tax burden. They mess everything up there in Alberta. Everything is messed up by those people in Montreal, those people in the capital. Everything is messed up there by that leftist political crowd. And they're talking about becoming independent, leaving this Canadian confederation that was created there. I'm out. It doesn't serve me anymore. And we're going to become independent. The biggest buyer of Alberta's oil is the United States. The state's biggest client is the United States, which borders it, right? There it is, the border with the other states, the border with the United States. And they want to turn the border into a state boundary. Then it becomes the 51st American state. Nobody else can touch them, and they follow the tax benefits of the United States, which aren't all that great, but it's much better than... And so dear family, you who made it this far, thank you very much for watching the video until the end. Thank you for watching the news. Did you like the comment? Did you think it made sense? Well, if you can, consider liking this video, sharing it, and letting more people know about the content of the Clown Voter. After all, we are not all clowns. The people who do politics and make the news every day don't think you're a clown. Have you seen how they write? Have you seen what they're doing in politics? So nothing is more fair than me. Voter putting dressing up as a clown to comment on what they do every day. So thank you. Consider becoming a member of the channel and supporting our project so that we may continue here providing our daily commentary on the latest news. All the information is in the video description, okay? Thank you and see you next time.